Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the Digitally Overwhelmed podcast. I'm Cynthia, your host, and I run Digital Bloom IQ, where I help health and wellness businesses get found in Google and heal more of the world. This is episode 143 of the podcast, and today we're going to talk about, is SEO a one-time thing? And can it be a one-time thing? And I'm sure some of you are already guessing the answer by the way I'm positioning that question. But this is something that a lot of people have asked me about, and it's something that has come up as I've been promoting some of my services and just explaining the SEO process. So it's a really legitimate question. And I want to talk about some of the different options you have when it comes to approaching SEO, maybe for the first time, or if you're a seasoned SEO person and you just want to up your game. So as always, you can get the show notes for this episode over on my website, digitalbloomIQ.com/SEO/one-time SEO. So I've decided to, name the podcast after that question. And just to get started and get the air cleared and just into what I want to talk about, I really believe that SEO is an ongoing thing and it's not just something that you set and forget. Now, I will be talking about what happens when maybe your web developer, your VA, sets SEO up for the first time on your website. So I'm going to talk about that later on. But just in general, I think the best analogy for SEO is thinking about going to the gym, right? So you have some goals, maybe around losing weight, or maybe you want some abs, or you just want to tone your legs. And just imagine going to the personal trainer or whoever you're working out with at the gym and saying, yeah, I want to just set it and forget it. I'm going to do some ab exercises and I want the abs to stay there forever. So unless you have amazing genes and that's just naturally what you're born with, then we know that that's just not the case. And even people who have great genes or just have good physique in general still have a lot they do ongoing to maintain that form. And this is something that is also just really tied with how long it takes to do SEO. And I get into the timing around SEO in the last episode, 142, and I talk about why SEO takes time. So if you want to learn more about that, I do recommend listening to that episode just to complement this one. But I think that there are a lot of benefits to thinking about why SEO can be an ongoing thing. And just integrating it into your marketing. So right off the bat, no, SEO is not a one-time thing, and you wouldn't want it to be either because you won't get the same results, right? So again, there is a case where maybe you've got an SEO, a basic SEO setup. I'm going to talk about that, but let's first get into what are the benefits of doing ongoing SEO. So what I think is the power of SEO compared to a lot of other marketing is you have a lot of data and you have a lot of tools to look at what's working on your specific site in terms of keywords, in terms of content, and in terms of improving your site in general. So we have Google Analytics, we have the Search Console, and we can see really clearly, what the progress has been over the months or the years that your site has been up. So I think it's really exciting because as you do some ongoing SEO, you can see your progress, and it can be just motivating to see the results that you've been getting and where you've been improving. And it can also be a way to find shortcuts to focus on the things that need to get done first versus the things that are lower priority. So this comes up a lot as part of my AIM process is I define what is high priority for my clients so that they can get short-term results as well as the long-term results. So like I said in the past episode, SEO can take time, but if you're focusing on the right things at the right time, you can actually speed up those results and you don't need to wait years and years to rank. So finding those shortcuts is part of that month by month progress and that ongoing awareness that you build as you get to know your keywords, as you get to know your data, and you just start to look at very intentionally what's happening. I think another great example here is like money mindset, or just in general wanting to build wealth. You need to look at your money. You need to understand, what are you spending money on? Where are you making money? What are your bills look like, or when do you have to pay your credit card? All that awareness helps build just ownership over your money, and is going to motivate you to make better decisions. It's the same idea with your search marketing and with your data, that when you can take ownership of your data, it helps you just make better decisions and really look at what do you want to be focusing on. So another benefit from doing ongoing SEO is it can really tie into your content strategy and your blog strategy. So maybe if your site has been around for a while, maybe you haven't been blogging as consistently and you're not really motivated to create tons of new content. So instead, on a monthly basis, you can look at what keywords are already getting traction and what blog posts can I go back and improve. So instead of having to pump out new blog posts all the time, you can go back and just improve and just optimize content that already exists. And this can be just really exciting, right? And it can get you more traffic to your website without having to create new keywords. You can also target new keywords if you are in a space where you want to create more content and you have the bandwidth for that. Doing ongoing SEO lets you see what keywords are ranking, based off what's trending, or based off maybe what you're already ranking in, but you haven't created any content around. You can then very intentionally say, okay, in the last part of this year, we're going to target these keywords. And I'm sure all of you are super busy. So the cool thing of month by month is you can plan quite in advance, what keywords you want to start ranking in 3 months and 6 months based off what you are launching or selling. So it's really exciting, right? It's not as reactive. If you compare it to social media, it needs, sometimes, not always, but there's like more of a spontaneity piece and there's more live piece. SEO, since it's a longer term game, you can really, plan out in the future. And it's just like about those shifts, right? Small shifts that make big waves in the future. So again, the ongoing rhythm can be really motivating around your goals, around future launches, and it can just really, really help plan these things out and not be as reactive or, have to shift things last minute. And then the last thing that is just crucial around ongoing SEO is link building. So of course, you publish a blog post and it might take a couple months to rank, or a year or 2 years. But the link building piece, so when I say link building, I'm talking about intentionally connecting with other websites by getting featured or doing guest posting. Again, this is kind of, we need to be careful because Google doesn't want anything that is too, how can I say this in the right way? Just like not spammy. They want us to be very organic in our link building. So it needs to be a relationship that benefits both parties. Definitely, I don't recommend any paid link building schemes or any just like anything concocted, because Google's algorithm is really smart and it's going to catch you. But anything organic that you're already collaborating with, maybe someone who's already in your network who has a podcast or has a blog section that they're looking for guest posts. So how can you intentionally build those links? And that's an ongoing thing, right? Something else to think about are media sites, and how can you maybe get featured on a news site or any sort of media site as an expert in your field. So as part of my retainer work, I actually send my clients link building opportunities on a month by month basis that they get to choose and work on, right? So that needs to be ongoing. And it's kind of similar to PR, but there is like an SEO element that it's just so important. And that just doesn't happen one time, right? We all know, you can't just pitch a bunch of podcasts once and then that's it, right? You need to be pitching ongoing. You can batch the tasks. So I'm not saying you need to do it every single day, but whatever works for you, right? So if you want to sit down once a month or once a quarter and batch like a bunch all together, or if you want to like a couple times a week, do a couple. So whatever works for you, but it needs to be an ongoing thing. So let's talk about what happens when a web developer or your virtual assistant or even a web designer proposes an SEO setup. And so what does this mean exactly? And how is this different from maybe a retainer or any other SEO service where it's ongoing? So a first time setup can be a one-time thing in that you've got the foundations in place that will help you continue to do SEO work in the future. And this is actually something I cover in my own SEO audit checklist, which I've talked about before, but for those of you who don't know, I have a really easy to follow checklist on my website. You can go to digitalbloomiq.com/SEO checklist. And you can download your very own checklist. I'll have them in the show notes as well. But basically, this helps you just have a strong setup, an initial setup, and a foundation on your website so that you can start ranking and start doing these ongoing things like link building, content creation, improving your website, adding keywords, all that stuff, right? So some of the crucial parts of a basic setup are like good URL structure. So you've got really clean paths and they're not too cluttered. You've got just really clear, the about page says about, the services page and the URL says services. So all that is really clean. And something else is just like a good overall site flow. So it's really easy to get from the home page to the about page, to your services page, to your contact page. You've got links in all those pages. So these are all like foundational things that your web developer is probably already doing. And they all help with SEO. So that's why they say SEO, setup and that sort of thing, because they're just like foundations of a good website that the humans and Google can understand, and that will get you on the right foot when it comes to ranking. The last part of a good foundational setup is having a handful of quality blog posts. So maybe by the time you launch your site, you want to have maybe 5 to 10 blog posts that are just great to start ranking. And it's giving value, right, through the content and building that relationship with your potential clients or any visitor who comes to your site. So all those things are just like basic foundational SEO things that, again, your web developer or your VA says, okay, we'll set them up. Or maybe you have a month by month retainer with your web developer and they're doing technical stuff. And so again, when they say like SEO there, it might just be from a SEO perspective. They are checking in to make sure you don't have unnecessary redirects, that you don't have too many 404 errors, that your site speed is good, right? So don't be afraid to ask your web developer, what exactly do you mean by SEO? Because that term gets thrown around a lot, and I use it a lot. And so it can be really confusing to just to really know what they mean. And so again, don't be afraid of just being like, what do you actually mean by that? And ask them to break it down, like quantify exactly what that covers for you, in that service. What are you paying for? Because there will be a lot of people who do just say SEO and they don't even know what it means, or maybe I don't know, it could be anything. It could be just something fluffy that they're including in there. I'm not saying, everybody's trying to rip you off. I'm just saying it's important to know what exactly is included. If you want another really good episode that talks about the different types of SEO services and what's included, I definitely recommend you check out episode 141. And that's a really great place to start just understanding what different options you have in terms of SEO. The other one I recommend listening to is 123, How to Hire an SEO Expert. And in that episode, I also talk about what to ask your SEO expert before hiring them and what questions they should be able to answer for you when it comes to their service. So that's really important because I don't want you guys getting scammed. And I've heard, SEO has unfortunately kind of like a bad rap for that because there is scammy and spammy types of SEO. And I don't want you guys to do that because in the long run, you will get penalized by Google for doing black hat SEO. Okay, so in conclusion, I definitely don't believe in one-time SEO. I believe that there could be a one-time SEO setup and a foundational setup that could happen once and then you build on that. But really to get the best results with SEO, with search marketing, it needs to be integrated into your current marketing. That doesn't mean it needs to take up all your time, but there needs to be like some small intentionality on a month-by-month basis and some awareness. So you could be just looking at your keywords and that's enough, right? Just like looking and being like, that's interesting. Maybe you don't have time right now to write tons of blog posts, but having awareness, that's doing SEO and just thinking about what am I selling in the next 3 to 6 months and how is my website playing a role in that? What pages do I want people to find when it comes to what I'm selling? And what experience am I giving them through my website that will get them potentially to buy or just to check things out, right? So not everyone's going to buy and that's totally okay. And this is something that I cover as part of my AIM process. So if you are looking for that awareness, my AIM process includes an audit. And so on its own, the audit will give you awareness of like, where is your website standing right now? And what do you need to do in the future to, like in the short term and the long term, to get things done? And so a lot of people just find the audit process, the assess process, just mind-blowing because they suddenly realize, oh, they were already ranking on page 1 of Google. What can we do to like just keep ranking in that keyword? Or other people like have great content in their ranking, but they've got some technical errors on their website that are actually making their site look not legit. So there's a lot that could be happening with your website, and getting that awareness is going to help you just put the right things first and focus on those and not get overwhelmed by the full process. Because I think that's why a lot of people kind of avoid SEO because it can feel like there's so many things that need to happen. But I really believe it's about slow and steady, focusing on the right things next. And over time, just like investing, like going to the gym, you invest that time, that half an hour, 15 minutes to an hour every day or every other day. And the long run, you know what's going to happen. And it's just like inevitable, right? But you have to have that awareness. You need to start somewhere. Otherwise, you'd have to like set aside your whole business to just do SEO, and that just isn't really sustainable. The other option I have is if you're not really looking for a more intensive one-to-one experience with SEO, is I have some lower cost retainers. And I've actually recently restructured these because I'm so committed to helping my clients get traction on their SEO. And so these retainers are month by month, and they allow you to get keywords, to get some awareness around your data, and you get to decide how you want to act on that. So again, if you want more information about either of these, go to my website, digitalbloomiq.com, or you can email me, cynthia@digitalbloomiq.com, and we can chat about what's a good fit for you right now, what you're looking for in terms of results, and how this can all play out with the rest of your marketing. That's the best way to do SEO. It can't be an isolated thing. It needs to be part of the ecosystem that is your marketing. And then finally, I want to mention some other episodes that you might enjoy. I've already mentioned a couple, but one that I think is a great complement to this whole conversation is episode 136, the SEO process. And here I go more into AIM. I go more into the different steps. And I really talk about what it's like to do this like organic and cohesive SEO plan. And I really don't believe it needs to be the thing that takes up a lot of time. But when you're building new awareness, just like if you're building awareness around your money, at first it does seem like you're putting in more effort, and then over time it gets easier and easier. So this is something I have thought a lot about, and I just think it's the best way to do SEO. The other episode I want to mention is episode 141, types of SEO services. That one I already talked about. And then the last one is episode 138, measuring SEO results. So one of the ways to get motivated around your SEO is understanding what results you've already gotten and how you can keep getting results. So I love showing my clients the traction that they've got on their keywords, because it's just so exciting to see results, right? And to see how you grow, how you go up in the search results, how a keyword that was maybe on page 5 is suddenly on page 3 or page 2 of Google, how you start getting clicks, right? When you start to publish more blog posts. So yeah, in this episode 138, I talk about what metrics to measure and some of reporting that you can look at in the Search Console and in Google Analytics. So that's it, my friends. I hope that you have a great day, and I'll catch you next week on the podcast. Bye.